and his arm. And in the backfield, he is assisted by Terrence Glover. Glover is a fierce force on defense, but also on offense likes to deliver punishment. Defensively, the guy that Vin Askelis is going to have to pay special attention to, a very special player, Kurt Bullwith. He's a big linebacker, roams sideline to sideline. He's very quick. And Anthony, we talked about how Bayonne has played from behind in weeks past. You would think it's probably not a good idea against a team of North Bergen's caliber this week.
Well, yeah, North Bergen obviously probably a little better up front in the trenches. They've got some size, and that's what Tom Bullworth wants to try and win up front, the battle up front. And let's face it, when you're playing a good coach team like North Bergen, you never want to fall in the hole against a team like that because they know how to finish.
Well, we're going to step aside for a second, and when we come back, we'll hear from the coaches, Vin Askelis of North Bergen and Tom Bullwith of Bayonne. And Coach Vin Askelis, and he has seen a lot of change, but he has been very adaptable, and that has certainly helped him be successful.
And he's the one constant, you know, in a change around him. But Vinny has his ways, and you do things the way Vinny Askelis says they're to be done, and he's been successful. And who's going to argue with him? And let's face it, you know, the victories, the championships. It's been one of the most successful programs in the state of New Jersey.
And you look on the other sideline, a coach who is in his first year as head coach of Bayonne and having won his first game in some 24 years. But Tom Bullwith, the head coach of the Bayonne Bees, he certainly has a lot of experience through the years, just hasn't been a head coach in a long time.
Well, he's coached against Vinny Askelis back in the 70s when he was a head coach at Dickinson. But, you know, Tom comes into this game with good athletes. And you know what? It's been a long time since they beat North Bergen. Back in 1988 was the last time. So they're looking to slay the dragon. And they got the players to do it tonight. North Bergen knows that, so they have to be careful.
And Bayonne coming off a very tough loss last year up at North Bergen, 13-12. Bayonne was poised to possibly win that game at the end. The two-point conversion attempt failed. Now, our Cablevision crew was all over this week. They also were able to catch up with head coach Tom Bullwith of the Bayonne Bees.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say it's a real pleasure to be back at Bayonne, and I'd like to say how enjoyable the season has been so far, and the reasons for that are I was very fortunate to get organized on a late date such as August 1st to get a real good staff, hard-working staff, and the kids have responded very well. I'm very pleased with the support we're getting in the school. Our new superintendent, Ms. McGeehan, is doing a fine job drumming up school spirit. Our AD, Mr. Pearson, has done a real fine job getting us what we need. The pleasure comes when you see these kids start executing and how hungry they are, and they certainly were hungry for wins. And to be 4-1 at this point, you can't deny that it's a great feeling. Especially when you look at the kids' faces. I think we're taking great strides in getting the program to where it belongs. It's a long haul. It's certainly, don't let the record be deceiving. We have a long way to go, but when you look at our JV, something hasn't happened around here in a long time. We actually playing a full schedule. Our JV's 4-0 right now. We're looking to the future. A lot of those guys are getting some time helping us on the varsity level, filling in for some of the vets. It's a real good thing to have some depth, something we were concerned about at the beginning of the season. As far as the county goes, I've been in this county a long time, and it's really amazing to see such parity in the county. Every game is a fight, a dog fight, and it's unpredictable, but certainly with a little bit of luck and some good, more hard work and drive from the kids, I'm sure we're going to finish up real strong.
Tom Bullwith, the head coach of the Bayonne Bees, certainly seems to be enjoying his tenure as the head coach. The North Bergen Bruins have won the coin toss and have elected to receive the football. But Coach Bullwith, again, only in his first year as head coach of Bayonne, long hiatus, but he has been around this county for a long time.
Yeah, you know, it seems like he has really taken his Bayonne program and now wants to take him to the next level. John Rickard, I thought, came in here after Don Ahern and did a good job of resurrecting the program because, let's face it, Bayonne football had some down years. In my opinion, Bayonne football should never be down. There's a lot of talent down here. But I think now Tom is taking it to the next step, and he's talked about having the freshmen and the JV playing well, and that's a great sign to say that Bayonne football will be strong for years to come.
Let's take a look at tonight's officials, the men in the striped shirts who will be doling out the penalties. The referee tonight, Jerry Hughes. Jim Ritchie and Rick Mataranti are the umpire and linesman respectively. Rich DeVito and Bob Villanova are the line judge and the back judge. And take a look at Mr. Hughes.
You know, so far this year, John, since we've done our games together, we've noticed that there's been a lot of scoring. So I'm anticipating another high-scoring game tonight because you seem to bring out the best in these schools. And well, let's see if the footballs will be flying.
Not only have the games been high-scoring, very competitive.
Yes. Last week's game, Emerson Hoboken, maybe the game of the year so far in Hudson County. The streak almost ended for Hoboken, and it's been since 1992 that somebody's beaten them.
Very impressive. Duval Cheatham will kick off for the homestanding Bayonne Bees. They'll be fielded by Castro at the 15, and then he is pulled down at the 27-yard line where North Bergen will go to work. 1st and 10. Let's take a look at the offensive unit for the visiting Bruins. The quarterback, Justo Rosario. In the backfield, it'll be Castro, Petrillo, and Macias. The tight end, Alex Chaparro. And the split end is Mike Caceres. The big eaters up front, tackles Chris Collins and Juan Rodriguez. The guards, Dennis Veras and Kenny Veras. And the center is Robert Carujo. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. North Bergen traveling from left to right on your television screen. And the first down give goes to Castro, fights his way forward. He was stood up by Terrence Glover, and he gains about 2 yards on the play. Defensively for the Bees, the men in garnet from head to toe. We'll take a look at that in just a second. The ends are Phil Saladin and Isaac Olden. Tackles Helinski and Strickland. The nose guard, Dave Chiaffo. Linebackers are Glover, Salerno, and Bullwith. And the secondary of Edwards, Jimenez, and Lukamski.
Actually, Lukamski made that tackle before and really stood up Castro. Nice tackle by Lukamski.
They're going to try the left side now, and the give goes to Joe Petrillo. And he maybe got 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 6.
Well, I like that inside-outside game at North Bergen. They're going to go outside, obviously, as much as they can with Castro, and then Petrillo will try to get those tough yards up the middle. But Bayonne did a good job of defensing this up front as Petrillo went to the left side, and the big boys up front for that Bayonne defense were ready for the challenge.
3rd down and 5 yards to go for a 1st down. Opening minutes of play here, first possession of the game. The Bruins, their record unblemished so far. They are 5-0. The Bees looking to put a check in the left-hand column, and a false start will be called against North Bergen.
Yeah, David Chaparro jumped off, a little excited, a big 3rd down play, 3rd and 4. And that's going to put North Bergen to a little deeper hole there now, as it'll be a 3rd and 9.
And you would think North Bergen,
full start on the offense.
take a look at the
Still
penalty call.
3rd down.
North Bergen, a team that likes to run the football, they want to stay out of those 3rd and long situations.
You know, I think that obviously David, big game tonight, motion's going high, and early in this game you might see some kids going a little early.
3rd down and 9 yards to go for a 1st down. They need to move the football out to the 37-yard line. And a pass downfield intended and almost caught by Castro. Rosario swung that way downfield, and Castro actually had a step on the defender.
Yeah, he did. Actually, North Bergen really had 2 players open on that. He had his choice. Maybe just underthrew him a little bit, and Castro was unable to make the catch. He had David Crespo also wide open on the right-hand side. So maybe Bayonne wanting to see a little bit of Rosario before they give him the respect.
Now North Bergen will have to punt. 4th down and 9, and Bayonne should end up with some pretty decent field position. Jerome Edwards standing back at his 42-yard line. That punt almost blocked. Glover shot in there like he was cranked out of a cannon. And Smith, he touched it. That's a loose football.
You know what? I think Bayonne got it back, though. I think it took a very fortunate bounce for Bayonne and back into the hands of number 31 for Bayonne. Made a huge recovery, and that looks like Elvis Morel. You wonder why kids do that. We've seen that a couple times now, and I think that's the result of maybe watching too many games on Sunday, where they think they're going to come in at the last second and take that ball a distance, and it's just not happening. I mean, they were very fortunate that that could have been a nightmare for Bayonne.
Let's take. There is an injured player right now, and it looks like it is Chris Hilinski, who is down at about. Well, check that, Brian Hilinski. He is down at the 24-yard line, so we hope he's okay. He's now sitting upright, and may have just had the wind knocked out of him. I'd like to know how the heck Bayonne came out with that football. There were about 6 white jerseys there.
Yeah, like I said, it took a very fortunate bounce, and I think that it's the old rubber band trick. I think Elvis had a rubber band on that ball because it came right back into him. He wasn't the initial player who bobbled it, but boy, I tell you, Bayonne, the return man, when he gets to the sideline, should shake Elvis's hands because he owes him one.
He bailed him out. Let's take a look. After this play, we'll take a look at the offensive unit for the Bayonne Bees and the defensive unit for the North Bergen Bruins. Excellent field position, 1st and 10 from the 48. And it'll be Salerno right up the middle, breaks a tackle, and he's got a first down at the 40-yard line of the Bruins.
He just busted up the middle and found no one there from North Bergen.
Offensively for the Bees, quarterback is Cheatham. In the backfield, it's Glover and Salerno. Wideouts, Edwards and Brewington. And the tight end is Kurt Bullwit. Up front, the tackles, Chiaffo and Hilinski. Guards, Saladin and Hilinski. And the center is Sean Arter. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line of the Bruins. Out of the I formation go the Bees. And it'll be Glover right behind Salerno. And they push their way forward for a gain of 4 yards. Defensively for the North Bergen Bruins, they will look like this. Up front, the ends are Morales and Lane. DeCandia and Carujo are the tackles. The linebacking unit of Petrillo, Macias, and Carujo. And in the secondary, the corners are Castro and Pena. The safeties, Rosario and Crespo. 2nd down and 6. We have 9 minutes to go first quarter. It's going to be Glover left side, big hole, and Glover is tripped up right near the first down marker. And that was a nice play by Eric Macias, or otherwise that's a big, big gain.
Yeah, Eric was able to get the shoes of Glover, who we've seen him before. Once he gets through, he gets some space, he's off to the races, and they were just able to bring him down. But John, so far everything going Bayonne's way. Come out from the beginning, stop North Bergen right away, 3 and out, and now they're on a good drive.
Look very sharp from the outset, and Cheatham's going to run the option, and Cheatham with a lot of room, and Cheatham is going to go for a touchdown. 30-yard scamper.
Well, we've seen a lot of that so far this year by Cheatham, but North Bergen, a young defense, made a mistake right from the beginning of that play as they went into the option, and I think they gave a little bit too much respect that time to the running game as Glover got all the attention and nobody was actually paying attention to Cheatham, who had the ball, John, and that was the most important player on that play, who just had really no one in his way. Actually, as he got outside the right-hand side, I think Glover had more attention on that play than Cheatham, and Cheatham had the ball.
The Bees have run 4 plays so far, all running plays, and every single one of them, the holes have been enormous. Cheatham to kick the extra point, and it is up and good.
Not by much. That just sailed over the crossbar.
It'll look like a line drive in the box score afterwards.
It'll look like a 40-yard kick tomorrow.
And you see Coach Bullwith, we talked about the problems they've had at the outset of football games, so clearly they have come out with a purpose tonight.
Well, you know what? You couldn't ask for a better way to start this game, and it's funny how an almost disaster for them on special teams, somehow they were able to get the ball back, and it really paid dividends because as soon as they got that ball back, they were unstoppable in their running game.
So the key play of the drive might have been made by Elvis Morel, miraculously coming up with that football. He was outnumbered by quite a bit and somehow came up with it, and the Bees punched it in quickly. That was a 52-yard drive And they kept the ball exclusively on the ground, and those holes wide open.
Well, let's face it, they're playing down here in Bayonne. They're in front of their own crowd. Vinny Astley's obviously did not want to see this Bayonne team come out and play with a lot of confidence early. And, you know, with Tom Bulworth, he's got a team that is getting better and better every week they play, and they're showing it now.
Cheatham kicks it in the direction of Castro, who takes it at his 7-yard line. Dances around Brewington, but can't get past the second defender, and he's tackled down at the 24-yard line.
I mean, we saw them earlier in the year, and we thought against Memorial that in time, as the season went on, Bayonne was really going to become a good football team because they have a lot of talent, and they have a lot of young players that are just going to get better. So that we've seen the results so far of that.
4-1 and 2-1, and the game that they lost, they dominated throughout the first half. That game against St. Peter's Prep, couldn't cash in early on, let Prep stay in the game, and they came out with a big second half. So they are the other undefeated team in the National Conference. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Man goes in motion for North Bergen. They go right up the middle. Bouncing off one tackler is Macias, but he is then tackled in the backfield by Glover.
Yeah, that time Glover, the linebacker, loves to find contact from his linebacker position, and he brought that play to an end rather quickly.
An abrupt halt, and North Bergen, who went 3 and out on their first possession, find themselves in another 2nd down and long situation. They were also hurt by a penalty on that first drive.
North Bergen traditionally not a team who makes a lot of mistakes.
And you can point directly to the head coach if you want to know why that is the case, but this is a young team. 2nd and 9 from the 25. Glover shows blitz, and it's going to go right up the middle again.
Right where Glover blitzed, John. He blitzed right into the hole, and he found the North Bergen ball carrier coming right into him, and he knows what to do when that happens. Glover, a pretty short tackler.
Doesn't miss many. Big hitter, short tackler. Not many flaws in that young man's game. And
well, you know, actually a real good play for Bayonne's defense. They fired Glover right into the hole, and they fired him into the hole that the ball carrier was coming in. So they gambled, and it paid off.
3rd down and more than 10 yards to go for a 1st down. North Bergen needs to move the football out past the 34-yard line. Now it's Bulworth who creeps up as though he's going to blitz. And back to pass goes Rosario. He's being chased by Salerno, and now he's sacked at the 21-yard line.
Well, Rosario had a few bees hovering over him, but finally the big fella, number 78, was able to make the tackle, and that's Michael Strickland. But he had some help from his defensive players as Houston just rolled out to his left-hand side. Really never had a chance to find anybody.
Guess you could say the bees were swarming.
Yes, he was running for his life, and Strickland was able to sting him.
I figured I'd get you started in that direction. 4th down and 12. And it'll be Smith who had the blunder on the first punt, but no harm done. Back along with Jerome Edwards, who runs up the field to punt at the 43 and then pays the price as he is whacked immediately by Braven Carujo.
So Bayonne living dangerously on that punt return. They really like to field the ball at Bayonne High School on that punt.
They have guts. We'll give them that. 6 minutes to go here, first quarter. John Hester along with Anthony Fusilli and Wayne Avery, and the Bees looked great on their first possession.
And again, they start off with excellent field position, and you know, that's a war that Vinny Astley's coming in and was going to try and win. Battle of field position. He loves that game.
He has won many a game by being very careful with field position. Castro stands up Cheatham. Big defensive play by North Bergen. They were run all over on that first possession.
I would think the Bruins now will come out a little bit more fired up on defense. Maybe they came out a little lethargic that first series, but if they were, they realize now that this Bayonne team is for real.
2nd down and long for the Bees as you see Cheatham scurries back to the huddle with the play. Elvis Morel will be swung out to the far side. Jerome Edwards near side. Operating out of the I formation will be Glover right behind Salerno, and Glover jumps over a pile and gains 5 yards.
Yeah, he went to the air, and really a gifted athlete is Terrence Glover. We saw him one night against Memorial just really do everything that a running back can do. And he's finally brought down by number 33, as I guess the North Bergen tackler, Joey Petrillo, saw some flight. He saw the Glover go airborne and was able to bring him down. That was probably a scary sight for Petrillo.
Number 2 flying through the air. And on a 3rd and 3, long count from Cheatham, and it's Salerno, the first back through, and he pushes his way forward down to the 34, maybe 33 and a half, and he should have the first down.
And he did a good job because he was hit initially about a yard or so at the scrimmage line, and he was able to get what a big fullback is entrusted to get, those extra yards when there's tacklers on your body. He was able to get that serious yardage to get the first down.
Now he had a big gain on first down on the first possession. If they can get him on track, makes the option that much more difficult to defend.
All starts with the fullback.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Cheatham to put the ball in the air for the first time. Throws it for Morrell, and he's got him at the 10. Morrell fighting. Touchdown, Elvis Morrell.
Well, you know, that was a perfect pass by Cheatham, who put it right between the 3 and the 1, John. And, you know, he beat Justo Rosario, who is one of the best cover cornerbacks in Hudson County. So you know that that was a perfect pass.
And a perfect beginning for the Bees. 2 3-and-out sequences defensively and scoring on their opening 2 possessions. That was a perfectly thrown football.
You know, they set up that play perfectly also, John, because they ran, and all of a sudden North Bergen thinking run, and they beat him in the air down the sidelines on a timing play.
And the extra point is good. Everything going right for the Bayonne Bees, who have come out with a sense of purpose. They now lead 14-0 with 4:15 to go in the first quarter. As you take a look at a nice crowd here on a Friday night. New Don Ahern Veterans Memorial Stadium, completely refurbished.
And if they got here late, they've seen some scoring. I mean, they've missed some scoring. I mean, as we've seen so far, you get down here at Bayonne, the points start racking up on the scoreboard quickly. You know, one guy that we're not sure we're going to see a lot of tonight, as you see Elvis Morrell, who caught that touchdown pass, is Jimenez, who is another talented receiver. You know, he's had a bad ankle, and he also is a gifted receiver. So with him out tonight, Bayonne's going to need somebody else to step up, and Elvis is in the building.
Elvis certainly is. He's also in the end zone. As it is 14-0 in favor of Bayonne. Duval Cheatham to kick off from the 40. Familiar pose. The Bees kicked off to start the football game and have kicked off now. This will be the 3rd time here in the first quarter. Cheatham is straight on kicker. Broken out of the Mark Mosley mode. Kicks it down to the 11-yard line where Castro will handle. And Castro is tackled by the first man down on the job for Bayonne. That was number 47, Brian Vita.
One thing you could say about the kickoff coverage so far tonight for Bayonne, they've had a lot of practice, and they've been excellent. You see the fans enjoying this game so far, and why not? Bayonne crowd loving what they're seeing. Probably not used to seeing Bayonne with a 14-0 lead over North Bergen. It's been since 1988 since they've been able to defeat North Bergen, and actually beat them in 87 and 88. That was the years when they had Hughes and Beeler and some special Bayonne teams.
So far, so good for Bayonne. They lead 14-0. And Chiaffo got a piece early.
In fact, to finish up on that point, Dana Hughes made it all the way to the NFL off that team in 87, and Eric Beeler, an excellent running back for Bayonne, I think went to UCLA. So,
Nebraska.
Nebraska, yes, you're right. And it's been a while since Bayonne has been on top like that in the late 80s, but looked like that this team could lead them back in that area.
They are 4-1 and 2-1 in the conference. And as Anthony said at the top of our telecast, they have not beaten North Bergen since 1988. And they are really the measuring stick in the National Conference. St. Peter's Prep as well, but for the longest time, North Bergen really with longevity on their side. A couple of fakes, and the football goes to Petrillo, and he is wrapped up right away. I think it was Chiaffo.
Yes, Dave Chiaffo. And John, you can't say enough, but right now the Bayonne defensive line is winning the war up front, and they are making it impossible right now for North Bergen offensively to really do anything successfully. The quarterback's rolled out. He's been under pressure. They've tried to run the ball, and there's been Bayonne bees all over the carry as soon as they get to the scrimmage line. So you got to believe right now that this North Bergen offensive line, they've got to step up and try to pick up their intensity.
And they find themselves in an obvious passing situation. Third consecutive 3rd and long. It'll be 3rd and 8. And Rosario wants to pass, and Strickland's there to sack him again.
Well, Strickland got him high, but Anthony Salerno got him low. And that's not good news for Rosario, because that means there were 2 Bees against 1 Bruin.
And the Bees win the battle. They are buzzing defensively.
And, you know, maybe 1 Bruin against 1 Bee, you got a chance. But when you're the quarterback and one of them is this big and one of them is that big, not good for Justo, because Strickland is falling on him, but Salerno was there early to trip him up.
Complete domination here, first 10 minutes of the game. 14-0 Bayonne. North Bergen has gone 3 and out on all 3 of their possessions. The Bees have scored on both of their possessions and will get the football back in great field position again. A much better punt this time around, and actually ends up taking a Bayonne roll, so they'll start off 1st and 10 from the 45.
And it looks like they've lived between that 50 and 45-yard line tonight. That Bayonne offense has started their drive, and what do you know, the punt return team for Bayonne actually let the ball be down.
Well, Smith fumbled, almost cost his team, and then Edwards got popped as soon as he caught the football.
So maybe somebody on the Bayonne side said, we're getting good field position, fellas. Let's not get in the way of it. You know, one point about this Bayonne team, yeah, they lost to St. Peter's, but, you know, that was so early in the season, John. And I still think they're so much a better football team now because of it.
They have improved from week to week, and it's going to be Smith who gets his first carry of the night.
Wrapped up by 33. I think that was Petrillo who made that tackle.
Brian Smith, the sophomore.
You see, he'll try and bounce outside, but Smith couldn't get outside because really they did a good job up front for that North Bergen defense, and that was Joey Petrillo.
Makes it a 2nd down and 8. Looks like there's Brandon and Brian in the backfield now, and that is the case. Flag goes down. Pass for Edwards. Incomplete.
Well, it looked like North Bergen sent everything but the kitchen sink on that play, and they were lucky that Cheatham didn't have an extra second to find Jerome Edwards, because, well, we're going to have a flag against Bayonne, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. But Bayonne that time saw North Bergen blitz them, and blitzed them rather heavily.
You talked about the field position game. North Bergen so well known for doing that. We'll take a listen to Mr. Hughes.
Illegal formation, not enough men on the line of scrimmage on the offensive line. Penalty is declined, 3rd down.
So interesting, North Bergen declined the penalty, taking the loss of down rather than sending them back 5 yards. And there you see a number of Bruins rushing Cheatham, and he didn't have enough time to find Edwards, but Edwards was open.
And it's going to be Smith who gets it around the right end.
We might be in 2-play territory here, as he'll be about 2 yards short, Smith will, for that 1st down. But another super sophomore for Bayonne. The Smith brothers, the future of Bayonne football. You can really be excited if you're a Bayonne fan when you see these 2 kids play, especially you just sense they have a nose for taking it the distance, as we saw Brian early in the season against Memorial taking it 100 yards on a kickoff return.
A kickoff return for a touchdown called back against Memorial, as Bayonne will punt.
Surprising.
Very surprising. And then getting off a real good kick is Ellerson. And there's a flag on the play. Don't know really what you gain by doing that.
Well, what I think Tom is trying to do, and I don't know if he got the punt he wanted, but I think he's trying to win the battle of field position, not giving North Bergen a chance to start off a drive with any, well, I think that'll be after the punt, so North Bergen will actually start off in a hole again, probably inside their 10-yard line.
Well, it looks like they're marching back. You just got a shot of Coach Tom Bullwith and now the North Bergen sideline. They had a similar play last week where there was a penalty, a fair catch. A young man had signaled for a fair catch and then went and made a hit, which you're not allowed to do. I thought it was post-possession, but somehow they marked the penalty off from the line of scrimmage, and Hoboken got a 1st down out of it. So
let's see what happens.
Holding on the defense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, first down.
Well, we don't know if it was post possession, so that's something we couldn't hear right there, John. But maybe it was before the kick.
Could be. Nonetheless, it gives Bayonne a first down. So even when Bayonne decides to punt and give the football up, unless Bergen makes a mistake, it helps him out.
And that's a huge break for this Bayonne team, who in the first quarter have had to go all their way.
First and 10 from the 32-yard line of the Bruins. And it's Brian Smith who gets the call. And we are nearing the end of the first quarter. We don't have an official time clock, so well, I guess we do. Either that or whoever's keeping the clock is awful accurate. That'll do it for quarter number 1. It was all Bayonne, the score. Bees 14, Bruins nothing. Back at the Don, second down and 9 yards to go for a first down. Bayonne on the march again. They lead 14-0, and they have just benefited from a penalty. And it's going to be Cheatham who keeps it. Goodbye, touchdown Duval Cheatham.
They made the same mistake again. It's incredible. They are paying so much attention to the option and the pitch to the running back, the tailback, that they're letting Cheatham run through the secondary and the line of scrimmage with no one there. I mean, the guy with the ball is the one who's going to kill you, and you got to stop him first. And right now, North Bergen, that young defense that we talked about with 7 sophomores, is trying to take the running back away, and nobody's picking up Cheatham, who is just walking into the end zone. And how about this? This Bayonne team has had a history of playing from behind, John, and their first 4 games, they're up 21-0, and they're probably not sure what to do with this. But one thing is for sure, they're going to try to keep on scoring, and it's all going their way right now. Watch how the North Bergen defense just runs past Cheatham. I mean, he's going to kill you, and right now, he is getting it done. I mean, another touchdown where he's untouched.
And you talked about the weapons that Bayonne has, and that's a testament to it right there, because every person on the option, throw in the fullback where they've had some success, you have to honor it, and that time they honored the wrong person.
Well, what they're trying to do is take away the running back on the pitch. I understand that, but they're not getting the linebackers or the defensive end to take away Cheatham, or for that matter, even the defensive lineman. So give credit to Bayonne up front, because they're blocking every Bruin that needs to be blocked right now.
These plays are very wide open.
And you don't see touchdowns scored this easily against the North Bergen defense that's been led by Mike Astley's Vinny's son. You know, Mike has been known over the last decade to have a very strict and stingy defense. And tonight, Bayonne is just going through it like Swiss cheese.
They lead 21-0. It will be interesting to see how they handle Prosperity. They are in an unfamiliar position. And this time the kickoff will be taken by a different person. It'll be Petrillo. So it's Castro who tried his luck the first 3 times, and now Petrillo, and he ends up in just about the same place Castro did.
Excellent so far in that kickoff return. Kickoff coverage, I mean, for Bayonne. They have gotten guys down there very early and have wrapped up the North Bergen ball carriers quickly. This time it was Petrillo, who didn't have a lot of real running room, and you got 4 Bs down there waiting for him. That's usually what's going to happen.
It was Brian Vita with his second tackle on special teams. First and 10 from the 24-yard line for the Bruins. They are back on their heels right now, trailing 21-0. Smith creeps up from his cornerback spot as though he were going to blitz, and then Saladin and Glover make the hit on the ball carrier, and that time carrying the ball, a new entry into the game, it was Braven Carujo.
Well, Braven found out exactly what Castro and Petrillo found out, that up front, this Bayonne team has come to play tonight, as Saladin just wrapped himself around and Glover jumped on for the ride. And interesting, Glover kind of getting a rest on offense, and that tells you how much talent this Bayonne team has. He's playing on defense, and he's a very good running back, but they're giving the young sophomore Smith some chance to run the football. Not too many teams can do that. in Hudson County.
Exhibiting some depth. And Rosario just lost the football on his way back to set up to throw it. He was able to fall on it, but things continue to go horribly wrong for the Bruins.
I think Vinny Ascles and his coaching staff would like to get back on the bus and take a ride around Bayonne and then come back off it again, because I don't think coming down here right now they have been ready to play mentally or physically, and that's a trait that Vinny Ascles takes pride in. And right now, his team a little bit unsure of themselves.
And they find themselves in another 3rd and long situation. This is an offense that likes to grind it out. They live on the ground, and when you put them in 3rd and longs, they are in big trouble.
Let's see if Rosario has something in his back pocket now for this 3rd and 14.
Rosario will go back to pass, looking downfield. His protection breaks down. Rosario able to slip past one tackler, and then Glover comes up to make the tackle at the 17-yard line.
You see, John, what Bayonne has is speed. So Rosario was able to get around the lineman, but now you have a Glover waiting for it, the linebacker position. You're not getting past Terrence Glover unless he makes a bad tackle, and he's a very good tackler. So Rosario looking. He can't find anybody. Salden can't bring him down. Rosario, an excellent athlete. He's been able to get away with this, throughout the season. But now you got a Terrence Glover on the other side. You're not going to get away with it.
And give credit to the secondary of the Bees. Pretty good protection that time, but nobody open. Familiar position for North Bergen. Bad snap. What else can go wrong? And somehow Macias was able to get out of the end zone.
Well, that may have cost them on that play, because the best thing to do was to take the safety and the 2 points. Now Bayonne will take over at the 1-yard line. And you know what? I know he was trying to make a play, and you got to give him credit for it. But obviously, he's got to take the safety there and try and take the least of 2 evils.
Yeah, that's quick thinking on your behalf, because now instead of giving up 2 and being able to kick it away and maybe tilt the field position-wise in your favor, now you're looking at 7.
Again, Eric is just trying to make a play. The ball goes over his head. It's not his fault. He's trying to make something happen. But unfortunately, bad break for North Bergen again is, could you start with any better field position for a drive, as Bayonne will try and punch it in from the 1-yard line.
And now North Bergen takes a timeout. As Anthony said from the very beginning, they have just not looked like they have very much in this football game, which is unusual for a Vin Ascles team. Give credit to Bayonne. They've come out firing on all cylinders, but I think you have a good idea. They might want to get on that bus, ride around for a while, just so they can get a fresh start. It seems like they can't get out of their own way.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Vinny gets them on that bus, I really feel bad for those kids, because they'll have a few choice words to say to them. And I know I wouldn't want to be sitting on that bus, that's for sure, or driving it. But right now, everything going Tom Bulwark's way, and he's just looking, saying, everything I'm touching is turning into gold. And it all started when he almost had disaster early on in the game, when the punt was almost fumbled and North Bergen almost recovered it. Ball somehow finds a way back into his team's hands, and since that point, maybe Bayonne got felt a little magic tonight, and they now lead 21-0.
Looking to end 12 years of frustration. They got the break early.
And they had taken care of it in 2 quarters, I think.
And they have been capitalizing ever since. Cheatham is dragged down right away. That was a good defensive play.
And it looked like number 55 for North Bergen. And that's Dominic DeCandia, who came in and made the play right away. And a good tackle by Dominic. You like to see that, because Cheatham so far has not even been touched in this game anytime he's run. Looked like it was a perfect fake. Dominic was right there. He never got faked out by it. And I like the way he made the tackle.
That makes it 2nd down and goal to go from the 3-yard line. Deck, still stacked against North Bergen. Eight minutes and 23 seconds to go in the second quarter. Flag goes down. And we'll see what the call is.
Foul, delay of game on the offense.
So now Bayonne, for the first time tonight, shoots themselves in the foot, and that'll back them up about 5 yards. So at this point right now, Bergen surviving with their strategy of not taking the 2 points. So that might, maybe it will turn out to be the right thing to do.
I don't know if he really thought about it that long. Cheatham's going to call his own number, puts his head down, and then runs over a tackler.
Well, Cheatham has had so much success with that running to the left side. He probably felt strange to see some Bruins on that side actually waiting for him. And here you see as he goes off, and he decides very early he's not going to pitch it. And, this time, North Bergen got it right. As they, you fool me once, fool me twice, but third time will be there for you.
And they were there that time. In a perverse way, if they do somehow come away with this without allowing any points, it could be the shot in the arm they needed.
You're right. I mean, they look like disaster. Let's see.
3rd down and goal. Cheatham wants to throw it, and now he's going to run, and Cheatham is going to make it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, that's just pure athleticism right there by a very gifted quarterback, Duval Cheatham, because North Bergen had that play defensed. There was nothing there, and that, to Mike Askley, was his worst nightmare, a kid just making a play that, is God-given ability.
That play was covered, and then when it broke down, Cheatham made it happen, and Vin Askeles, you see him walking away, really searching for answers. All the weapons for Bayonne have been firing on all cylinders, and the extra point is up and good, so the perfect half continues for the Bayonne Bees. They lead 28-0.
And you got to like what you see out of Duval Cheatham. He'll kill you with his legs. He can kill you by throwing, and makes a nice move here and is able to get into the end zone. And sometimes, a play like that is just impossible to defense. I mean, you've got guys in the secondary trying to cover the Bees, receivers, and Duval decides, you know what, I'm going to just run it. And, how many guys can you put defensively to watch out for Duval Cheatham running the football?
Take a look at the Bayonne cheerleaders. This is a good night to be a cheerleader when your squad's on top. 28-0.
And they might be in a little shock, too, because they're not used to seeing their Bees up early in the game. They're usually used to seeing them winning the football game, but coming from behind.
No, way ahead now. This is a surprising start. We knew that Bayonne definitely could hang in here and certainly could win the football game, but they are completely dominating right now. It is not even a contest. Petrillo will carry. Petrillo switches hands, some open field, and then Duval Cheatham, the quarterback / kicker, makes the tackle.
Well, a nice run that time by Petrillo, who got some running room, got some good blocking. And can Duval Cheatham do more for a team? I mean, we saw him earlier in the year, and I said to him, he does everything for this Bayonne team. Did he drive the bus for them also? But look, on the kickoff, the guy down there that makes the tackle, after Petrillo finds some running room, cuts it back to the left-hand side, breaks a couple tackles, and who does he see? He sees Duval there, and he's like, oh well. I've seen enough of number 5 so far this game.
So that's 3 running touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, and now a tackle on special teams for Cheatham. Good hard run by Eric Macias. Signs of life for the first time for the Bruins.
Well, you called them the big uglies up front, and that time the big uglies got a little nasty and opened up some hole for their Bruin running game, because right now he comes through. Excellent running, a nice hole up front. And look, it's a lot easier now when you have a 3-yard hole to run through.
North Bergen sideline definitely has pepped up after that play. First down of the game for the Bruins. Give it to Castro on the right side. Castro breaks through a seam, cuts it back. Castro, big run down to the 25-yard line.
So now North Bergen feeling a little better about themselves, and you wonder if Vinny Askeles threatened to put them back on the bus and take them back up to North Bergen High School before this half ended. Because I think now North Bergen has come out with a little intensity, a little fire, and let's face it, they have to be embarrassed by the way Bayonne has gone up and down the field on them so far in this first half, and there's a lot of pride on that sideline. So let's see what happens now.
second first down picked up by the Bruins as they are beginning to roll just a little bit offensively from the 25-yard line. Rosario right up the gut, Macias. And this time, not nearly the success. Chiaffo and Strickland were there.
Yeah, Dave Chiaffo at the bottom of the pile and Strickland, two players that have been very active tonight. You see they're going right up the middle. And Messia gets a couple yards out of it. That's a good first down play. Well, they say 2nd and 8. It looked like he got a little bit more than that. So, although North Bergen, though, with a nice drive now and close to the 20-yard line with 5:42 to go in the second quarter.
And they would dearly love to punch it in now. Still 5:35 to go, so if they can score, they'd still be in the game to a degree. That pass may have been deflected. It was intended for Castro.
Well, Castro was open, but like you said, I think one of those big linemen up front for Bayonne might have been able to get a piece of it. Let's see. As Rosario throws it, and yeah, it looked like the son of Tom Bulworth, Kurt, got his big paw up there and knocked it down.
Makes it a 3rd and long, and you can bet we're in 4-down territory now. Down 28-0. Rosario needs to pull out a big play. They've been in 3rd and long all night. And they give it to Castro running around the right end. Castro cuts it back, and he'll be short of a first down by a yard, but much more manageable than 3rd and 8 will be 4th and 1.
You know, that time it was Kurt Throw with the tackle. Before, it was number 83, Isaac Olden, who tipped the ball. I like to get those kids' names right because when they do something, they deserve the credit. But this time, Kurt came around and was able to bring down Castro with a nice tackle, and that'll bring up, looks like a short play for North Bergen, a 4th down play. What do you want to do here, John?
I would try it right up the middle with Macias. They have to get this first down if they want to stay in this game.
Big play right now for this North Bergen team. A lot of bees up front.
4th and 1, 4:40 to go first half. Bruins trying to make a little noise, and it is Macias, and he will have a first down.
Good call, Coach Nestor, as they went to Messia, and Eric shows a lot of strength. You know, even on the punt that went over his head, you know, he was trapped in the back of that end zone, and he somehow found a way to get out of the end zone. He's got, you know, good strong legs.
And it was his run that got this drive going right up the middle. On first down, he picked up first down yardage. And the Bruins are on the move. 1st and 10 from inside the 14-yard line. And Macias again right up the middle, touchdown.
Well, we said Messia, a strong runner, very tough to bring down. And he made a B pay initially as they tried to bring him down as he crossed the scrimmage line. And that's a big touchdown right now, John, just to give this Vinny Ascalese Bruin team something positive to build on as they trail 28-0 and now are down 28-6. But they needed something to go in at halftime to say, hey, fellas, we've played about the worst football we've played at this high school in the last 12 years. So we know we're better than that.
In to kick is Mark Rogers. Bad snap. So just when it looked like North Bergen was going to be able to do something right, it doesn't go completely right, but they have broken through as the extra point conversion is fouled by a bad snap. And one thing's for sure, Anthony, you talked about pride and Vin Ascalese. They may not win this football game, but they will not be allowed to quit.
No, again, good blocking up front as they got a trap block and Glover off. You don't see that too many times as Glover misses the tackle, but you know what? He had good reason to miss the tackle because Messia is a tough runner to bring down, and he saw the end zone. He smelled 6. And a good trap block up front by number 62 for the Bruins. Kenny Veras was able to spring Eric into the end zone. You know, I'm sure Tom Billworth on that sidelines is talking to his kids, telling them, hey, let's not let up now. These are the North Bergen Bruins here. We're not playing a team that is, like you pointed out, going to quit. And I'm sure he's not comfortable with a 22-point lead. I mean, it sounds great, and I'm sure he would take it coming in. But I bet you, if you went and asked him now, he'd be like, we got to still play this game. We got to play hard. We haven't won anything yet.
There's a lot of time remaining. And let's see how Bayonne reacts for the first time tonight. A counterpunch from the visitors. Everything has gone perfectly for the Bayonne Bees. Jerome Edwards takes it at his 20. And Jerome Edwards almost broke it down at the 39-yard line.
Well, if you're the kicker for North Bergen, you're also expected to make the tackle. It's not like the NFL where you avoid contact. And that time, Ivan Prus kicked it off, the sophomore, and he was able to get down there and trip up Edwards. Otherwise, Edwards could still be running.
It'll be a first down for the Bees from the 39-yard line. They're on top 28-6. 4:02 to go in the first half. Out of the shotgun formation, Cheatham to throw over the middle for Olden, and a little bit behind, and he can't hang on.
Olden, a big tight end. Good size. As you said, kind of turned him around and wasn't able to hold on to Cheatham's pass, but interesting spot here for Bayonne, as you alluded to. Right now, 3:57 to go in the second quarter with a 28-6 lead. The last thing Bayonne wants to do is give it right back to North Bergen.
Second down and 10. Again from the spread formation. Goes Cheatham. Can't handle the snap. He'll have to backtrack under pressure, and he is ruled down in the backfield. Coming up to make the play, pursuing was Eddie Morales.
We got to look at that again because Deval Cheatham pleading his case to the coaches. I'm not sure that knee touched, but he got the call. I don't even know if he was ever ready for the snap. I think he was looking around and the ball was snapped into his head. I think Deval was looking at other places and oops, boom, it was, well, okay. Came back to him a little quicker than he thought. And let's see if the knee touches. All right, good call. Maybe it did. Maybe that left knee did get down. So the official's right there on the scene. Give him credit. It wasn't down for long, I'll tell you that.
Not for long at all. It'll be 3rd and 19. Cheatham pitches it outside to Smith, and Smith run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. The North Bergen defense backs up the score.
I don't know if we can see that again, but the thing that North Bergen hasn't done tonight is made Deval Cheatham pitch the ball. And this time, DeCandia did what they haven't been able to do the first 3 times he's run to the left side. Deval Cheatham, this time, he's done this to the left side. Well, this is the play before on the botched snap, but this time he went out right, and DeCandia, number 55, made Cheatham give up the football, hit him early, and that time they had enough players to bring down Smith.
And a muff in the back, and it's taken in for a touchdown. Eric Macias.
You know what? Eric Macias, got to feel good for him because he was on the other end of a botched punt play, and this time he picks it up, and he, just like that, North Bergen is back in his football game with 2:51 to go.
Turnabout is fair play, and what was once a dead North Bergen sideline trailing 28-0 is now very much alive.
Well, hold on to your hats because John Nestor once again has brought the best out in these two teams as scoring is going at a rapid pace. And I've done games in Hudson County for 10 years. I cannot remember the scoring that I've seen on a week-to-week basis in this league.
Well, North Bergen's going to go for 2 to try to cut this lead in half. And now Bayonne wants timeout.
I mean, this was a blue-collar, black and blue type of county when it came to scoring. You'd go to a football game and you were lucky if you saw a higher score than 7-6. And now, 28-12, 2:51 to go, and that's low scoring for what we've seen so far this year.
They're nowhere near finished. Big plays. It used to be, as Anthony said, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But now it's a blur. Offensively, special teams, and North Bergen came up with the big plays. We wondered how would Bayonne respond when they got punched back for the first time. Well, so far, not very good.
You know, Eric Messia was in a perfect position that time for North Bergen. Picked up the ball. There wasn't a bee 5 yards around them when he got that ball and walked into the end zone.
Look of determination from a veteran. You said he still loves it. Just has to get the juices flowing. Potential for a big comeback.
I know Vinny Astley's. Well, here we go.
For the two-point conversion, Rosario is going to run it himself, and he'll get nowhere near the goal line.
Good job by Bayonne up front, and also their talented linebackers, as Glover was there, and also number 12 for Bayonne was on that tackle too. It looked like it was Bart Lukamski. So a big play for Bayonne, really, because now it's still more than 2 touchdowns. Here you see they go with a simple fake, and they're going to let Rosario try and use his legs to get it in. They take away the outside, and there's Kurt Bulworth high and Lukamski low.
I have to be honest, I had actually looked back to identify the return man on the punt because they hadn't punted all night, Bayonne, and I didn't see what happened. I mean, next thing you know, Macias is running in with the football, a wild play, and Bayonne, who had that 28-0 lead, you said they might feel a little uneasy with the lead, and they look very much like a ball club that's uneasy.
Well, I'll tell you what, they responded in a big way on that 2-point conversion. Because I know they would have felt a lot more uneasy if it was 28-14. At least they get a chance to take a deep breath there at Don Aron Veterans Stadium on a beautiful night for football.
A bouncing kickoff taken at the 18 by Edwards. Edwards tries a spin. He'll be down at the 30-yard line.
And a nice tackle by North Bergen, who got down there rather quickly. John was number 5. And that looks like Chris Torres. You see Chris coming into your picture and fights off a blocker right there. A real heads-up play. 2:45 to go, and we're not done yet.
There may still be a few scores left unscored. Cheatham keeps the football. It works again. Cheatham cuts it back at the 40. Now goes back out toward the sideline. Big gain on first down for Duval Cheatham.
Well, I said we weren't done yet, and I guess Bayonne was really believing that as they go back to what has killed North Bergen so many times so far in the first half. Quarterback rolled out, and there was no one there to stop Duval Cheatham as he walked into the end zone. It shouldn't be this easy, but tonight, Duval Cheatham has had all types of running room. This time, they at least were able to drag him down. As the officials want timeout, get things settled up.
Well, Bergen's sideline had kind of crept out of that box area that they're supposed to stay in. Cheatham pitches it with the right hand, fumbled by Glover, and the Bruins have it.
All right, so not to get carried away with the point, John, but again, that time, Duval...
Second standard. Burger King's got something for the whole...
There were 2 North Bergen players in his face, and something good happened. Gets a break because, you know, they're capable of coming back 28-12, but if Bayonne went in there, that really would have taken them out of the ball game. Glover never really got a hand on it, and the Bruins that time were able to get the bounce.
And Cheatham pitched that to his left with his right hand.
They forced him to do something that he hasn't had to do much tonight.
So I guess you get up to a point where you just say, you know what, tackle Cheatham every time.
Well, you know what, it's worked so far.
Macias had a hard time getting the handle on that. Still turns out to be a good gain on first down.
You know, he's got a great line score up. He's a baseball player. He's 4 for 6. I mean, the 4 times he's run the football, he's gone 2 times for touchdowns and 2 big plays. And the 2 times they made him pitch it, Bergen's been able to walk off the football field. And that ball almost jumped out of Macias' hands. Somehow he's able to get it back, tackled by Edwards finally.
Second down, and we'll call it 7. Castro right side cuts it up in. Chiaffo runs him down. Smith there to help out. It'll be 3rd and about 1.5.
Less than a minute 30 to go. Let's see if North Bergen in a rush to get something going here. It looks like North Bergen will let the clock run. As you see, Castro taken down by 3 Bs.
60 seconds remaining, first half, some confusion on the line. And
Yeah, too many guys on the left-hand side.
Rosario with a whack on the helmet for somebody who's not probably supposed to be there.
Well, he's the leader, you know, he's the quarterback, and, you know, he's taking charge out there, and he wants to make sure that everybody's head is in the game. We mentioned that early on. North Bergen's head definitely wasn't in this football game. It was somewhere up on Kennedy Boulevard, probably, you know, right before they crossed the border into Bayonne, because I think they thought this game started at 8 o'clock, not 7.
Now they find themselves trailing 28-12, but who would have thought that they're probably going to go into the locker room not feeling so bad about themselves?
And who would have thought it would start off 28-0 for Bayonne? I know Vinny Ascles has seen a lot of football games. I don't think he's seen too many like this.
As we said, though, we have seen some pretty wild football here throughout the first half of the season. Last week's game was a classic.
And we saw, and you saw Bayonne come back down, what, 21-0 to a Dickinson team and beat them on the last play of the game.
They were down 20-0 at halftime and looked dead, and had a great second half and won 21-20. So it is definitely possible. Heck, it's already happened on this field. And on 3rd and short, the Bruins will get the first down. They only have 1 timeout remaining, so they might want to be judicious about how they use that.
Right now, they'll move the chains and stop the clock. But North Bergen doesn't appear to be in a rush. As you see, Messia really does a good job of getting that tough yardage.
He's the one who got things started. Big run on first down after Bayonne had made it 28-0. Eventually scoring on that drive, the Bruins got back in it. They trailed 28-12. Rosario to throw, looking deep downfield. He's got a man, and it's incomplete. There's going to be a flag for pass interference.
And I think a good call. But you know what? Maybe even a better play. Because defensively, that only cost you 15 yards, John. And you cannot let him catch that ball that far down the field. So, you know, not a bad play for the Bees. If it is against them and it looks like it's pass interference, it's not like the NFL where they're going to get that ball at the spot of the foul.
Fooch, you are on the top
Pass
of your game
interference
today.
on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I had a lot of time to think with the traffic coming down here to Bayonne.
He came here in a very thoughtful mode. He's been thinking strategy all afternoon, all evening.
With that 1-9 traffic, you have a lot of things to think about.
28.4 seconds to go. The truth is, he's right, though. That is a good play defensively. Still half the football field to negotiate for the Bruins. Back to pass goes Rosario. He wants to go long. Nobody's open, and he's going to be sacked, and he fumbles. And Bayonne has it, and that'll do it for that drive.
Well, we've mentioned Michael Strickland's name a few times tonight, and I'm sure Houston Rosario, who's I think is still down. Hopefully he's okay. And he gets up. Has to be tired. He's going to see him tonight when he goes to bed, and that's Michael Strickland, because the big fella has been all over Rosario tonight in this first half. He rolls out. Hey, good job by Bayonne. Rosario should just throw this up somehow, but I think he has thoughts of taking off with it. And look at the big fella, Strickland. He was right there, fought off a tackler, and he got a little help too from number 83. I think that is Isaac Olden.
Olden.
Who stripped the ball.
And he had a deflected pass earlier. Salerno with the fumble recovery. Now we'll see what Bayonne does. Up 28-12, 19.1 seconds remaining. And they do have two timeouts. There's no 20-second timeouts in football. And Cheatham is going to run it himself, and he'll end up out of bounds, stopping the clock with the 11.9.
Right now, Bayonne really doesn't want to do anything crazy, because the last thing they need is for Cheatham to go back to pass and something, either a ball being snapped over his head or an interception going the other way, giving North Bergen more life. I mean, they feel North Bergen now that they're back in this football game at least. Bayonne really wants to stay away from something disastrous.
North Bergen, all things considered, they are still in a fairly manageable situation. After trailing 28-0, they've fought back. It's 28-12, and as Anthony said, Bayonne will be certainly happy to walk off the field with a 28-12 lead. They jumped out 28-0. North Bergen answered back with 12. So the two teams will go into the makeshift locker rooms and talk things over.
And let's face it, John, a big game in Hudson County in the National Conference. North Bergen coming in undefeated. Bayonne coming in with one loss in the conference. They want to get a piece of that championship. Vinny wants to hold on and make a run at that national title, another national title. So a lot at stake here coming back in the second half.
And we will be here for that second half. Don't go anywhere. We're going to step out and come back. The score at halftime. The Bees 28, the Bruins 12.
Number 55 fired up, came out in his second half, must have heard the words that Vinny Astley's told his team at halftime. He said, look fellas, we have played about as bad as we can play. Our first quarter we were flat. We come back out, we think we can move the ball against these guys. We just got to stop making some silly mistakes. And they're really confident that they can move the ball in this Bayonne defense. So let's see. They think they can get back in this game.
Down by 16 as Salerno gets the call from Cheatham. That's the fullback dive play that was successful early on.
The reason why it was successful is because the North Bergen defensive line up front wasn't winning the battle, but now on that play there were numerous Bruin defenders there.
Gain of 2 on the play by Salerno. Second down and 8 out of the I formation. It is Glover with a big stiff arm, and Glover keeps those legs churning. He's got a first down.
Well, Glover that time on his own picked up that first down because his offensive line may have gotten him through the hole, but once Terrence Glover picked about 7 yards, he decided he was also going to get the first down, and extra effort enabled him to do that.
Let's take a look at the halftime statistics compiled by Wayne Avery. Yards passing, Bayonne 34 on that one pass play for a touchdown. They've almost doubled the rushing output. And total yardage, it's a blowout and fairly indicative of what's taking place on the scoreboard. First down, and it's going to be Cheatham, who I don't know if that was a planned play.
Yeah, I don't think they purposely tried a quarterback sneak. I mean, he's been so successful taking off out of the option. I don't think they were going to try and fool North Bergen that way. But maybe maybe it was, because it looked like he got that snap and had a definite idea to do something like that. And you know, when you have Duval Cheatham, you can really attempt to try and do anything really with him. I mean, why not?
Well, Tom Bullwith told you on the air, Duval Cheatham makes my crappy calls look good. And he has that type of ability. Right side, Cheatham. And he is across midfield down to the 46 and has a first down.
They really have got to find a way to solve that option and make Duval give it up. I mean, he has had so much success running this play. Again, they take out Terrence Glover, and that might have been the game plan coming in, but they've got to adjust it now because it hasn't worked when they let Terrence run the football. The only time it's worked is when Terrence has given it up.
We've had 40 points scored so far. And you get the feeling that the next team to score, it's going to be a big score. If it's Bayonne, they can drop the hammer. If it's North Bergen, they can make the Bees sweat.
So Bayonne, again, trying to keep them honest. They run the fullback with Salerno up the middle. Not for much, as looked like big number 78 for North Bergen was the first guy there, and that I would believe is Juan Rodriguez.
Second down and 8. Glover bounces off a couple of hits, then he's pushed backward. Forward progress will get him down to the 37-yard line, making a 3rd down and 2.
We touched on this a little bit in the first half, John. With the talent that Bayonne has, they've been able to rest Terrence Glover on offense. And they were playing Brian Smith a little bit. And now they start the second half off with Terrence in the backfield, and he's a little bit fresher. And that's a luxury that a lot of teams don't have. But when you have a talented sophomore like Brian Smith, you can do it.
And it'll pay dividends down the stretch when you have a fresh Glover. He bursts through the line of scrimmage and picks up a 1st down for the Bees.
And the Bees offensive line really doing a good job up front right now, as they were determined to get that 1st down. And Tom Bulworth probably said to his kids, guys, we get the football first. Let's go out there. Let's get back to what was successful for us in the first half. Let's hold on to that football. And if we want to get back in this National Conference race, it's going to start with this first drive tonight in the 3rd quarter.
1st and 10 from the 34. Cheatham looked like he wanted to throw it. Decides to run, and he picks up 2.
I think he wanted to, again, run that option. And that time, Messia, number 44, stayed home. And Duval was able to make something out of nothing. As you see, he goes back. Looks like he's going to try the option. But again, North Bergen running straight for Terrence Glover. And Duval's like, I have no other option but to run the football. A couple of young fans taking in this game, enjoying the scoring.
2nd down and 8. Elvis Morel swung out to the near side. Jerome Edwards far side. And DeCandia sniffs that one out immediately.
Well, that is the perfect play against this option. And North Bergen hasn't done it often tonight, but DeCandia has come up with some big plays from his side. And that's just a perfect play as he fights off the tackle of Kurt Philworth. Give him credit there, because Kurt's a big kid. And he was able to get into that backfield and get into the face of Duval Cheatham before he could make a decision. And that's a big play right now for the Bruins.
3rd down and 12. The Bees looking to pick up this 1st down, and Cheatham will not get it. Turns his back. Awful exposed, but he'll be well shy.
That time, again, Duval having success, decides early, I'm not going to pitch this ball. And now North Bergen may have finally figured it out that they've got to stop number 5 first and then go after Cheatham. And Messia's right there, and they're able to bring him down for a minimal gain.
Raven Carullo was there as well. It'll be Sean Ellerson to punt. Coley Brewington onto the field late. And Bayonne disoriented in their kicking game now. We'll have to take a timeout.
Well, John, in the first half, we saw this situation before, and it was disastrous for North Bergen as a holding call gave Bayonne back the football, and from that point on, they really went on a roll. So Vinny saw his team not only making mistakes on the field, but making mistakes that cost them with penalties. And a lot really didn't go right for them in the first half. But this right now was exactly what Vinny Ascalise needed. Maybe he wanted them to go 3 and out, but he's forcing the Bees to punt. And that is exactly what he needed from his defense to start this 3rd quarter.
Last time Bayonne attempted the punt, it was blocked, and Macias picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown to make it a 28-12 game. Bayonne did accomplish something, however. They have taken 6 minutes off the clock, and Ellerson's punt bounces into the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
So North Bergen will start on the 20-yard line this time. There's no flag, so North Bergen will have the football. And now North Bergen, John, you know, if they can somehow get a drive going.
If they can score some points, they'll really be able to make Bayonne sweat. Bayonne led 28-0. And then North Bergen, after a big run by Macias, that picked up their first down of the night, They came alive. They followed that up with a blocked punt, ran in for a touchdown. It's 28-12. That's where we stand now. 5:51 to go, third quarter. John Hester along with Anthony Fusilli and Wayne Avery. Glad you can be with us on this Football Friday. Macias going nowhere as he tries his luck up the middle.
One thing you got to like about Terrence Glover, he comes to play on both sides of the football. He really doesn't take off on defense. I think he really enjoys defense. As at that middle linebacker position, he just fired in and met Eric in the hole. And that time, Terrence Glover won the battle.
Second down and 8 yards to go for a first down. First possession of the second half for the Bruins, down by 16 with 5:10 to go. Man goes in motion, that's Petrillo, and he gets the call, cuts it up inside. He'll have a first down for the Bruins, still on his feet, and a flag comes in late. And it was Glover who made the stop.
You know, coming into this game, John, we thought we'd see a lot of Joey Petrillo. Kind of got off to a slow start, as well as his whole team, and now it looks like he's coming on. Let's see what the call's going to be. A very important flag here. North Bergen doesn't seem too concerned about it. And are they picking the flag up, or is it against the Bayonne sidelines?
I think you're right. It looked like maybe they had come out onto the field, and that's the problem. Let's take a listen.
I think they picked the flag up. Because I didn't see them march any yards off, did you?
No, I did not.
Once again, Joey Petrillo off the left-hand side got some good blocking. Watch how he just waited. He waited for his blockers up front to give him a hole, give him some space, and then Joey knew what to do with it.
First and 10 from the 41. Bruins looking to get back in this football game. Macias, he's finished off by Glover, but there were a bunch of people there. Salerno was in there. Bullwith getting helped up from the bottom of the pile.
Really, the guy who made that play, though, you mentioned him, is Anthony Salerno. He fired right in, right away, and the play had no chance once Anthony was in the backfield 3 yards deep.
Little help from his friends. Macias does not go down easily. He is a tough back.
There you see Kurt Bullwith. A couple of Division I schools looking at Kurt. Like to see him come play there next year.
Kurt Bullwith's dad, Tom, the head coach, was a scholarship football player at Clemson University. Very happy about the Tigers' 6-0 start. That's a gain of 5, and the carry went to Petrillo. So try to mix it up in the backfield are the Bruins.
Brings up a big third down play here as they're having some success off that left-hand side. Joey giving his blockers a chance, cuts back, but a nice solid tackle. Looked like, again, Kurt Bullwith.
North Bergen with the third down and a little bit over 5 yards to go for a first down. They have yet to complete a pass tonight. Justo Rosario will attempt to complete his first pass. Back to pass. Salerno gives chase. Sets up and throws, and it's picked up by Smith. And Smith is going to go all the way. No! Down at the 25. A touchdown saving tackle from Juan Rodriguez.
John, we've mentioned his brother, Brian Smith. Well, Brandon maybe felt a little, it was time for him to make a name for himself in this game as he came out of nowhere and just stole that football. And David Griffin, the former Marist star and Rutgers starter on the secondary, goes over and greets him and very happy to see young Brandon make that play. And you really got to like what you see out of these Smith boys, as Rosario maybe should have tucked this one away, tried to make something happen, and number 23, Brandon Smith, from his safety position, made him pay.
Glover with the first down carry. Picks up about 5 yards, and that is a costly turnover. Second turnover of the night by North Bergen, and they were beginning to move the football. And we're going to take another look, Anthony.
I see Rosario under pressure from Salerno. Tries a difficult pass, tries to throw it back, and not when you have the type of speed that Brandon Smith exhibits here, he's able to just run after it. Looked like a center fielder on that play.
Cheatham wants to throw toward the end zone. Up for Edwards, touchdown!
Well, what can you say? Duval Cheatham really made that play. He gave time for Edwards to get into that end zone as he beat Rosario in the back of the end zone, and Cheatham made something out of nothing. Waited, and threw a perfect pass. And that really takes the air out of the Bruin balloon.
2:25 to go in the third quarter, and Duval Cheatham putting together one heck of an evening. That is his second touchdown pass to go along with 3 touchdown runs, and he's about to attempt his 5th extra point. And he is 5 for 5 on extra points. And let's not forget, he had a big tackle on special teams.
So Bayonne really trying to do what they haven't done in 12 years, and that's beat North Bergen. Takes a 28-0 lead, only to see North Bergen fight back and make it 28-12, and Cheatham just lofted this into the back of the end zone and give Edwards a credit, holds on to the football, and they got simply too many weapons here at Bayonne this year.
The difference between last year and this, with Duval Cheatham, I'm sure an extra year experience certainly helps a great deal, but working with Jerry Castaldo, who many people feel may be the greatest athlete in Bayonne history, so take a look at Jerry there, and his passing game so much more polished this year. He looks really good.
Better than Dana Hughes?
Well, this comes from some of the more senior gentlemen.
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure he was a great athlete, but Dana Hughes,
Some
boy,
people.
has done it all on the NFL level. And could have done it in a lot of other sports, too.
Oh, yeah, he was drafted to play baseball.
Exactly.
He was
So,
special.
when it starts, when you talk about great athletes in Bayonne, I think you start with Dana Hughes and then you work your way down. Because simply one of the greatest athletes to ever play in Hudson County. Not taking anything away from the Bayonne coach.
Now, Jerry Castaldo, some of the, I'd say, middle-aged folks remember him as just a super athlete, and he's very good at translating that into teaching young people. Castro, he's done this numerous times out to the 22. Yeah, you talk about Dana Hughes. Hughes was the special teams captain for the Kansas City Chiefs, and really, as you said, he could have played baseball. He was drafted, I think, by the Brewers. Could have played Major League Baseball, decided to play football, but tough to top that.
And also, I think, a track star also. Good crowd here at Bayonne supporting their Bees. You like to see that. Big game coming in tonight. A battle for the National Conference, and you like to see the support.
In this brand spanking new facility, and these people from Bayonne certainly used to the fact that it's about 15 degrees cooler down here than it is anywhere else in Hudson County. Petrillo bounced off a couple. Phil Saladin was there along with Brandon Smith and Strickland.
And you know what? We didn't even mention the quarterback who played here a couple of years ago for Bayonne.
That's right.
At the University of Nebraska. He'd have to be up there too, pretty high, as people who remember him here simply rave about what he did on this level and now is trying to do at the Division I level at Nebraska.
Jamal Lord, the backup quarterback, and he saw some action against Iowa and actually scored a touchdown. So it won't be long before Jamal Lord is on your television screen on Football Saturdays. Big pop delivered by Smith.
Brandon.
And the pass was intended for Alex Chaparro.
Alex Chaparro, the younger brother of Joey Chaparro, who starred here at North Bergen for numerous years and accepted a scholarship to West Virginia. Nice hit by Brandon Smith. I think, you know, I can't say enough about these kids, but I think by the time their senior year comes, there'll be a few Division I schools knocking on the door for Brandon and Brian Smith.
Personal foul was called on the play, roughing the passer. So it'll be a first down for North Bergen. And they have a lot of wood to chop, down by 23. They need 3 touchdowns at least. 1:33 to go, third quarter. John Hester along with Anthony Fusilli and Wayne Avery. The Bees have been taking it to the Bruins for a good portion of this evening. Castro cuts it back, runs into Bullwith.
Huh.
Not a good choice.
No, that's not a way to stay healthy. Kurt, good run by Castro, and all of a sudden Kurt was able to make his presence felt as David runs into the 8 and the 5. Here you see Castro. I think he does a good job running behind his offensive line. He cuts back, and as he cuts back, somehow number 85 is able to find him and bring him down.
2nd down and 3 yards to go for a first down. Rosario to throw, trying to set up a screen for Castro, and he is hit immediately. Jerome Edwards.
You know, Jerome Edwards made a nice play there, but he doesn't need to get up and stare down his opponent. You don't like to see that. But again, a nice play by Edwards, who read the play, came up, made the tackle, and Castro's helmet goes flying. But you got to be careful, because referees will call that on the high school level when you taunt the opponent. As you see, Edwards right there with a great hit. He got up and kind of gave him one of those stare downs as he stood over Castro. No flag though.
Down to our final couple of seconds here in the 3rd quarter. And the whistles signify the end of the 3rd quarter. So after the Bruins had bounced back with 12 points to cut into the 28-point lead, the Bruins see a touchdown thrown up at the end of 3. It's the Bees 35, Bruins 12.
Perfect position. Sheila is getting a little colder now tonight as the brisk air off that river here, bay here in Bayonne, makes its presence felt. Actually, one of the warmer games, if you can say that down here, that I ever remember, because I think in August it's freezing down on this field.
This is like being in Candlestick Park. It's always cold. 2nd and 10. And it's Castro down to the 32. Maybe stopped at the 33-yard line.
David coming in with 8 touchdowns on the season, John, and you got to give Bayonne credit. They've really done a good job kind of slowing David down. He's been one of their most effective ball carriers this year, but you can't say enough for this Bayonne defense, who is has a few good tacklers. I mean, they're just good tacklers.
The problem for North Bergen being down by so much, they're not by any stretch of the imagination a quick strike offenses. Rosario will call timeout, first timeout of the 2nd half, burned by North Bergen. 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Bees on top 35-12, but not a quick strike offense. So when you fall behind, either A, have to deviate from your game plan and try to hit them big quick, or you take your time and score, but time not on your side.
Yeah, it's been a few years since North Bergen, you can say, has been a quick strike offense. They've had a few runs, especially when they had Brian Cooney at quarterback. They were able to score rather quickly when they had receivers like Miguel Montilla, but perennial North Bergen usually likes to hold on to that football, run it. Vinny likes to play field position, likes to let his defense try to hold that opponent inside and pick up that good field position and run the clock.
Well, next week we have a big contest as well. The Hoboken Red Wings will travel into Anthony's neck of the woods and take on the Union Hill Hillers up at Roosevelt Stadium. That game will be airing on Madison Square Garden.
And that's a battle of former coaches, as Ed Stinson will have his former assistant now, the head coach of Union Hill. Will be going up against him.
3rd and 5, Castro goes in motion. And an option play as Rosario pitched it outside for Petrillo. So if you can't beat him, join him.
And he got the first down. So a big 3rd down play for North Bergen. They went to the option, and Bayonne chose to try to take Rosario out of the play. As you see, Rosario comes here, makes a quick decision, and Petrillo shows a good speed to the corner. Is able to break a tackle and get that first down.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line of the Bees. Under 10 minutes to go. Bruins down by 23. staring their first defeat of the season in the face. They came in with a record of 5-0 and 3-0 in the National Conference. But it sure does look like they'll end up 5-1 and 3-1 as they take the bus ride home. Castro was contacted by Glover and Bullwith.
Yeah.
Take a look now at the top 10 in the county. The Star Ledger as of the 18th of October.
Emerson, a big surprise there at number 3, but they beat St. Peter's Prep earlier in the year and almost beat Hoboken, so you know that they've got things going right there up at Emerson High School. And a heartbreaker last week as they lost to Hoboken, could have broke that streak, but fell to them in overtime, and the streak continues.
Rosario flings one toward the end zone, and it's knocked away by Edwards at the last second.
Good job by Edwards, because so many times you see a defensive back try and make a play where he goes for the interception, and how many times do you see, John, the ball go through his hands into the receiver's hands? That time he wanted to just bat it down, and he made sure that that's what he did first. So he had an idea, not the interception, but to just knock this ball down, and that was a heads-up play. There you go.
Edwards, Johnny on the spot, makes it 3rd and 8. The Bruins have yet to complete a pass. Well, they've completed one pass, and that was the screen pass that was blown up by Edwards. It was one pass for 1 yard. Where's Keyshawn Johnson when you need him?
And technically, if you can call it a completion, they also completed one to Brandon Smith on the big interception.
Right. Unintentionally. So it makes it a 4th and 4.
And this time Castro goes on the right-hand side, and Bayonne again has a lot of guys around the football. That time Khalif Brewington with the tackle, number 7, will bring up a 4th and short, 4th and 4, with 8:32 to go in the 4th quarter.
Bruins need to move the football inside the 15-yard line to maintain possession. They trail by 23. Petrillo goes in motion. He's going to get the call on the left side, being tracked by Bullwith, who wraps him up and takes him down.
You know, Kurt Bullwith is a big football player, and he runs, though, like he is on a mission. As that time, Kurt waited for the bigger players from North Bergen to get out of the way, and he fired up from his linebacker position and was able to make a huge play. Because let me tell you something, he had running room, did Petrillo. He had to wait, and all of a sudden Kurt comes out of nowhere, comes right behind the blockers of North Bergen and makes the tackle. And that's why he's being recruited by teams such as Boston College, Temple.
Would dearly love to go to Clemson, except
for Iowa.
And Clemson doesn't recruit in this area.
Well, really, the last one they took was out of Kearney. They took a player 2 years ago, tight end, fullback, and you're right. I can't remember the last time Clemson came up to this area. Actually, they also offered a scholarship once to Rashidi Brown out of Hackensack, who went down there. But I tell you what, both times those Hudson County players went down there, they weren't there for long because they transferred out. And that may be a concern for Clemson now as they look at Hudson County players.
Well, Coach Bowden, just his philosophy, feels that if he cannot recruit in his area, which is really a football hotbed down south, he's never going to be able to compete with the big boys. So he doesn't even bother. Glover fumbles.
And I think North Bergen got it back. Up, no, big 6:59 for Bayonne. And you know what? They start the game, and now they're finishing it the same way. They're finding somehow to have the ball bounce their way. And it looked like it was Dave Chaffo at the bottom of this pile. The ball is stripped, and good job by 59, who just jumps in there, Dave does, and goes after the football and takes it away from 3 Bruin tacklers.
Braven Carujo had forced the fumble, and as Anthony said, the ball has bounced in the direction of the Bees tonight, and they have taken full advantage. Cheatham on the 3rd and 6 has a first down and almost breaks it. He was just slowed up enough by Mike Pena.
Didn't get slowed up that much because that was a big gain for Deval Cheatham, who has to have close to 200 yards rushing tonight. We'll get the official stat, but he has really been running wild in that Bruin secondary all night long.
Pena was literally the last line of defense. If he was not able to slow him down, that would have been a touchdown for Cheatham, who has already run for 3, passed for 2. He's kicked 5 extra points.
How can that not be a penalty? There we go. Yeah, finally they throw a flag as it looked like Brandon Smith was off a little bit quick and was dancing around so much that he was almost telling the officials, listen, I've screwed up here, somebody call a flag.
The way he tried to cover it up was pretty funny.
All right, so maybe I exaggerated a little bit, but 132 yards on 14 carries, on 15 carries now, is getting the job done.
And throwing 2 passing touchdowns, 3 running.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
That was funny though, Smith. He got caught red-handed, so he tried to dance a little bit. Maybe they won't see me.
And the officials, I think he did a pretty good job because the officials were kind of like deers caught in the headlight. They weren't sure what to do.
He made it look as though that's what he really intended to do all along. Glover across the 40.
Tackled by DeCandia and Rodriguez up front.
Played a very strong game, has DeCandia.
Yes, he has, and he's, I believe, only a sophomore. So big things to come from number 55 for the Bruins, as he has played strong on that left defensive end position as number 55.
Coach Bullwith along with assistant coach Bob Nevitt talking things over. It's going to be a happy night for the Bayonne Bees. They are close to improving to 5-1 as Cheatham lost the handle early and was able to regain it. Breaks a tackle right up the middle of the field. You're not going to catch him. Cheatham at the 10, and that is a touchdown.
Well, John, no flags, and I said he was close to 200 yards. Well, he now is close to 200 yards as Duval Cheatham has personally destroyed the Bruins tonight.
60-yard touchdown run by Duval Cheatham. And our last check, I think, was 132 yards. Well, now we're at least 192.
He did not want to make me a liar.
I better get some numbers from you if you knew that was going to happen. And Cheatham now has to kick the extra point. He looks like he's a little gassed.
Well, the kid sure does everything down here for Bayonne. I mean, he tackles, he runs for touchdowns, throws for touchdowns, he kicks, and he basically does it all as one of the more talented athletes in Hudson County in the last couple of years. Duval Cheatham can personally break down a team single-handedly. And look at this. Problem with the snap. Was it a busted play? I'm not sure. But you got to wrap him up. Messia couldn't. And give him credit. Got that breakaway speed. Rosario couldn't catch him. He's making a strong bid for, I mean, there's some good quarterbacks in the league this year, but he's making a strong bid to be all-county quarterback.
And an even stronger bid for our selection as Cablevision Player of the Game. My question to you
Which
is,
I'm sure he's probably more pumped up about.
Absolutely. Can suspend his couple minutes of fame with you down on the field. What are you going to... Last time you prefaced it with that driving the bus comment. Very clever. But you can't use that line again.
Yeah, well, he really... you know, he didn't have to drive the bus here tonight, sure. But I'm sure he could have. You really have to be impressed with what you see out of Duval Cheatham. I mean, I wonder who is recruiting him. We haven't heard that from Coach Tom Billworth, but I'm sure he could help somebody.
Castro takes it on a bounce and is going to go right up the middle. Isaac Olden drags him down at the 37-yard line. So you talked about North Bergen being really put to the test for the first time this season, and you have to say they get a failing grade tonight.
Well, they came in with a 5-0 record, everything going their way, have a young team, kind of a surprise team. Vinny didn't know what to expect coming into the season. He knew they'd be good, but he didn't think they'd be this good. And then they come down here against Bayonne, a team that kind of started the season a little slow. Could have had their season ruined by Memorial. Could have had their season crushed by Dickinson. Somehow, as we see
Phil Saladin
limp off, somehow they were able to get better. Give credit to Tom Bullworth and his staff. because these kids have gotten better and better and better, and that's what you want to see from a football team. Start the season strong and finish stronger.
On first down, it is the second back through.
Castro.
David Castro. And you had mentioned it earlier. Really, the pieces were put in place by John Rickard and a lot of that work he did with Tom Bullwhip. It's a senior-dominated team.
I mean, this team has come to play tonight. They wanted to end the streak, so-called streak. North Bergen has owned them for the last 12 years. And these kids have done something they can be proud of. You know, it was a long time ago, but I remember my senior year when we played Memorial. Hadn't beat Memorial in 30 years. And we beat them. And it's something I never forget because we went up to Memorial, we beat them 18-6. And that's something I've always remembered, that we were the first team to be able to knock off Memorial. At that time in the early days, Memorial was a powerhouse for years in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s, and finally an Emerson team was able to beat Memorial. And now Bayonne, these seniors will never forget this. Their senior year, they were able to break the jinx and beat a good North Bergen program.
An undefeated North Bergen team and a program that is really second to really none when it comes to Hudson County. And I know the fans at home just love it when you get sentimental on us. I love that. The old Emerson days.
Thanks for the napkin, tissues. But, you know, a lot of these kids will never play football again, John, and that's something that they'll never forget. Well, this kid will play football somewhere again, believe me, and that's Terrence Glover, as he loves to just rifle into that backfield from his linebacker position. Once he recognizes who has the ball, it doesn't take him long to get there.
He has great instinct.
As you see, North Bergen tries that run off the right-hand side, and Glover is like he's in the huddle.
Chris Torres with the carry. Chris, only a junior, did not start the game, so Coach Askeley's getting a few of his younger, less experienced players in the game now with the outcome all but decided. And this is a team that could not beat North Bergen. We chronicled it earlier, 12 years since North Bergen has lost to Bayonne, or more importantly from Bayonne's side, since Bayonne beat North Bergen. Just got that punt off.
Gets a good bounce, and you know, John, probably be jinxing myself here, but this game for 42-12 has actually moved along pretty quickly. I've seen some 8-6 games that have taken longer than this game. I think the official timekeeper has somewhere to go tonight. I think he has dinner reservations.
He's got a plane to catch or something. Well, I guess both teams like to run the football. That doesn't hurt.
Real nice night for football here in Bayonne, and they should be proud of their Bees because they have put themselves in a position now where with a St. Peter's loss, they could share or win outright the national conference.
And this is also a big win as far as the state playoffs are concerned. Very big win.
They'll pick up a few points from this victory tonight in the power points in that Group 4 state ranking.
Well, accumulating points has everything to do with the size of the school that you beat. North Bergen, a Group 4, the largest group there is, and also has to do with the amount of wins your opponent has. They have 5.
And I tell you, I really like this Bayonne team heading down the stretch. And I like them going into the state playoffs. As you see, we have it all taken care of here, as we have the PowerPoints already set up for you.
So big night for the Bees. Terrence Glover moves forward for about 4 or 5 more. And I would think that at this point in time, you probably want to get a guy like Glover out of there. The outcome is decided. Don't want to get anybody banged up. Have a big game next week at Cochran Stadium against the Ferris Bulldogs.
And let's face it, this is no knock against North Bergen, but this Bayonne team has a lot of weapons. They've got a good athlete. They're a senior-dominated team, and you got to like their chances. They got some young kids, too, in the Smith brothers. You got to like their chances going into the state playoffs.
Give it to Glover one more time, out to the 40 with 90 seconds remaining. I guess we have to pick our Cablevision players of the game. Any ideas on the Bayonne side?
We may not be able to get out of this box tonight if we don't make Duval Cheatham the player of the game. There may be some angry fans waiting for us in the stands.
Well,
so it all started and ended with Duval Cheatham tonight.
A less clear-cut choice for the visitors. I would nominate a couple of people. I thought Macias played a real good game on offense. He blocked the punt and ran one in for a touchdown. And also DeCandia all over on defense.
I think Macias would be definitely the clear-cut player of the game for North Bergen.
So it's Eric Macias for the North Bergen Bruins and Duval Cheatham for the Bayonne Bees. And Duval will join Anthony down on the field along with Coach Tom Bullwith as part of our post-game show. As you see, we are not far away.
Did that young lady have a Yankee jacket on?
Oh, I hope not. So what are your thoughts on the Subway Series?
I think that the Yankees will win in 6, and that's not because I'm a fan. I just think that, you know, they've been the best team in baseball over the last number of years. Until I see somebody come in and beat them, 6 has always been a magical number for them.
Well, I have my fingers crossed. I'm sure as heck not rooting for the Yankees, I'll tell you that much.
What the Mets have done is unbelievable, and what Bayonne has done is even more incredible, as they've been able to beat the legacy and the jinx of North Bergen, as they will snap a 12-year losing streak and have knocked off the Dragon 42-12 on their home field. Congratulations to the Bayonne Bees.
There it is, the clock strikes 0. And for the first time since 1988, the Bayonne Bees walk off a field against North Bergen victorious.
And you gotta say, somewhere, somehow, Don Ahern probably has a smile on his face tonight, because he was the coach of that last team that beat North Bergen.
Coach Don Ahern, a beloved figure in the Bayonne community and a great football coach, just a really decent man. And he's really, after Don was gone, you know, that was something that it was a tough position to replace, because he was such a beloved figure. And John Rickard did a good job, turned the program in the right direction. And then you see Coach Bullwith looks like he got a Gatorade shower.
Well deserved.
But he was in a spot this year where everything was in place. You have some seniors, the schedule was favorable in spots, and Coach Bullwith, it was one of those things where you want to come in, just don't mess it up. Sometimes that's not easy to do.
No, and it helps when you have players like Duval Cheatham and Kurt Bullwith and Glover and Edwards and all the way down the line. They've got some players on this team. And you know what? We didn't even mention Jimenez's name tonight. We saw him earlier in the year against Memorial single-handedly pick them apart. A very talented receiver. So, you know, Elvis Morales made his appearance early in the game with a big reception. I would say, John, that Bayonne really did it on all sides of the ball. Defense, offense, and special teams.
Well, we are going to continue with our post-game coverage. You see Coach Askelis with a pat on the head for Duval Cheatham. Basically just said to him, you know, kid, you put me through a rough night, but I'm sure he respects the talent and the work ethic of somebody like Duval Cheatham. Anthony is going to head down to the field and grab a sopping wet Coach Bullwith. And also Duval Cheatham, the quarterback, the star of the game. 4 running touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, 6 for 6 on extra points, and a tackle on special teams. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Expect the unexpected. Discover Jersey Arts. Art and technology come together in the Luminous Image 5, an exhibition of illuminated photographs featuring works by artists like Frank Palea, Shu Min Lin, and Anita Thatcher at the Newark Museum.
One in the National Conference. You take a look at a jubilant Bayonne Bee squad, and while Anthony Fusilli gets situated down on the sidelines, we're going to take you through the scoring summary. Bayonne struck early and often, scoring on their first 4 possessions. The 30-yard run by Duval Cheatham made it 6-0 with 8:21 to go, capping the opening possession of the first quarter. Extra point good. Then a 34-yard pass, a perfect laser beam right in the hands to Elvis Morel, and it was 13-0. Point after touchdown was good. And with 4:15 to go in the first quarter, North Bergen was stunned. Bayonne would continue to hit. A 31-yard run by Cheatham. Extra point good, makes it 21-0. That came with just 10 seconds having elapsed in the second quarter, and then a 5-yard run by Cheatham with 7.5 to go until halftime. And that was really a product of a big break on special teams, a bad snap, and Macias tried to run it out of the end zone. He got tackled on the 1, so not very far for Bayonne to go. But every little mistake that North Bergen made, Bayonne capitalized on. North Bergen tried to fight to get back into the game, as you see Coach Vin Ascles. A 14-yard run by Macias made it 28-6. The kick was botched when the snap wasn't very good, and that was 28-6 with 4:09 to go until the half. And then a block punt run in by Macias from 10 yards away. 2-point conversion attempt failed, made it 14. Check that, 28-12 with 2:51 to go. But the big touchdown in this game, a 20-yard pass from Cheatham to Jerome Edwards with 2:25 to go in the third quarter. That made it 35-12 after the extra point, and effectively shut out North Bergen the rest of the way. And the icing on the cake, a 60-yard run by Duval Cheatham right up the middle of the field with 5:05 to go. He kicked the extra point, and it was 42-12. We're going to sit it down to Anthony Fusilli, who has the coach of the Bayonne Bees, Tom Bullock.
Thanks, John. With me is the winning football coach. Tom, what can you say about what we witnessed tonight? Just an excellent effort from your team, starting with Duval Cheatham.
Yeah, the result, the score resulted from a great practice week. We finally settled into our rotation of backs and overall substitution process, made some minor adjustments offensive and defensively. And our distribution of ball is what makes us a winner, determines whether we win or lose. And that's what we had tonight. You know, and of course, you can't do without a great field general, and Duval did a magnificent job.
Well, Coach, obviously coming in, I don't know how conscious your kids were of a 12-year losing streak to North Bergen, but they played tonight like they wanted to make sure it didn't continue.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there was no mention of it this week and all. I'm sure some of the guys who are on a present team that have lost some tough ones in the last couple of years were thinking a little bit of a revenge factor. But I think we're business-like all week, and the kids just came out and did what they had to do.
I'm proud of this accomplishment tonight. Let's face it, this is something that these kids will remember for a while, and this now is a team that could share first place.
Yeah, I'm happy for these guys. These guys have worked for so many years through adversity, and this year they made up their minds that they were going to do the right thing and work hard, and I'm so happy for them. You know, as an old-timer, you know, we went through all our victories and we had our great moments. This is really a moment for the players. They really worked hard for it. I had very little to do with it other than calling plays, and Duval makes you look good. Well,
it appears Bayonne football is back, and congratulations on a great game tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Here he is, Duval Cheatham. Duval, the last time I saw you against Memorial, you did everything that night and drove the bus, I think, up to Memorial. But tonight, you had that option working, and for some reason or another, North Bergen gave you some running room, and you took advantage of it.
Because they keyed on Terrence a lot, because they know Terrence is a powerful runner. So that gave me holes to cut through and do what I got to do, you know what I'm saying, as a quarterback, take control. You know, the last couple of games started off slow, the team taking the lead on us, you know, but our coach, Tico, you know what I'm saying, he was crying this morning saying that we haven't beat these guys in 13 years, you know, he don't want to lose no more to him. So I took that to the heart, you know, I just wanted to show him that we down with him and we're going to do whatever they want us to do. We had a good week of practice, no slacking off this week, good running, good everything, you know, and it shows in the scoreboard. You know, that's basically about our team. It is. We work hard and we do the things that we gotta do. That's all.
Well, you won a game 42-12, rather easy, and you came out here in the second half and you didn't let North Bergen get back into this game. I mean, they scored those 2 touchdowns at the end of the half, but you came out here in the second half and made sure that was it.
Well, when we went in the locker room, I told my team the score is nothing. It don't matter. We up 28-12. They could come back like we came back against Dickinson, against Memorial, against whoever we played. We quaked. We came back. You know what I'm saying? So every time I go to the huddle or go everywhere, it's 4th down, it's 2 minutes left, we down, and the score is nothing. We got to score. And basically, we just drive the ball and score. That's basically what we always do.
How does it feel to be, I mean, there's been some talented quarterbacks that played this school, Jamal Lord, but to be the first one in 13 years to say we slayed the dragon and we knocked North Bergen off?
Feels great, you know. We're going to go in the locker room, celebrate for a little while, you know, and take our ways home and come back tomorrow and back to same old, hard practice.
I get the feeling that you think this is going to be a special year for Bayonne football. It already is.
Oh, it sure will be. It's a lot of good coaching staff, good everything this year. You know, it's not no slacking off no more. We down here to practice, we down here to do our work.
192 yards on 16 carries. Congratulations on a great game.
Thanks a lot.
All right. That's the story down here on the field. Let me send it back up to a warm